Hello, Angel here. Welcome back to my channel. Are you new? Hello. Have you been here before? Hello. Well, welcome to you. If you're new, if you're old, if you're just popping by, welcome one, welcome all. So today we're doing April's favourites. Goodness me, April went very, very quickly. We're already at the end of April, 4 months into the year, almost 5. Holy moly, where has that time gone? I don't know. I don't have the answers. What I do have the answers to is what my April favourites were. Let's get into it. Okay, so we're starting with what you're probably most interested in, and that is decks. The decks I used in April. Goodness me, I used a lot of decks in April. This was the first one I used, Folklore Oracle. This is a mass market deck. And then I used this deck, which is the, oh, holy moly, what's this one called? Solara Occulto, I think it's called. Tarot. Indie deck, sorry. So this was not on my radar for April. I did a video. Can't remember which video it is. I'll put it on the screen if I remember. And I bought this one out, and I was thinking I should be using this month for my fairy tale folklore theme. More on that coming soon. And I did. I swapped out the Northern Shadow Tarot that I was planning to use for Dawn Michelle's Weaver practice, and I replaced it with this one. And they paired so well. Now, did I say this is a mass market deck? I think I did. And I think I wish I could remember which video it was I spoke about this deck. And I spoke about the fact that in that video that this deck gave me a real autumn vibe. And in that video, that block kind of like crumbled away. And I was thinking, yeah, I'm going to get this out and use it. So I did. I used it for Dawn Michelle's practice, and it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to say it was like it's not a deck that I want to continue working with right now, but for the month, I really liked it. I can't, you know, what can I say? I just enjoyed it. It's a Rider-Waite-Smith clone, obviously. I enjoyed the guidebook. The guidebook has got like small snippets of, or small snippets for description. I'm going to say that. And these two gelled really nicely together because they've got this kind of folklore mythological feel to them. Does that make sense? I hope so. I'm not going to spend too long on any decks today because I've got a lot to get through. You'll see what I mean in a few moments. Let's take 2 more of these ones. Look at this. And I'm just going to say the patterns really work together in these. And these 2 decks as well. We've got a lot of pattern going on in these cards, and even a lot of pattern going on in these. So I feel that the art style really gelled together nicely. Okay, last one. I know I said 2 more, but last one. Love the devil card. So there we go. That was the first pairing that I used. Okay, let's move on to the mammoth selection of decks that I used for a very specific practice. Let's do it. So let's do a bit of an intro into these decks so you get a bit of an idea of what's going on here. So I did a video, a shout out to some fellow content creators on YouTube, on TarotTube. And whilst doing that, I stumbled upon, or I didn't stumble upon because I already had seen the video, but Jessie Chom's channel. I shouted out Jessie Chom's channel in that video. And they had created a fantastic hashtag into the Woods decks with about 14 prompts, I believe, concerning decks that take you into the forest as an archetype. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to link Jessie's video again in the description box. Anyway, though that VR, or that tarot tag, it didn't resonate for me as a tarot tag. It resonated for me as a tarot spread. So I didn't have any plans to do that, you know, in April at all. And that was an absolutely amazing, fantastic tarot spread. And getting to the whole point of these decks in front of us, these are the decks that I used for that tarot spread. So with that being said, I'm going to flip some cards. Should I tell you what the decks are? You might not know, you might not recognise them. This is the Tarot of Strange Antlers, Oak Ash and Thorn, Darkwood Tarot, Antique Anatomy Tarot. This is not the indie version, this is the mass market version. So it came in like a box set, and it wasn't called the Antique Anatomy Tarot, it was called something else. Tarot for the modern reader or something like that. Either way, this one came out intuitively. This one definitely came out intuitively, and even this one actually, to be honest. Darkwood Tarot, that's my shadow work deck. If you've seen my channel for, you know, seen any of my videos, you'll know that this is my ride or die deck. Now I do love this one. I'd never used this one. This is a constant deck that comes in and out all the time, and I hadn't used this one either. I'm going to link that video in the description box so you can go and take a look, because I don't particularly want to repeat myself, because that would be, you know, nincompoopery. But I had an amazing experience with these 4 tarot decks, as well as 4 oracle decks I'm going to show you in a wee second, for using Jessie Chomp's prompts. It was just amazing, and it led to a real epiphany, which I'm going to go into in a little bit later. And just spoiler alert, I'm going to be using the Antique Anatomy Tarot for May as well, which was totally unplanned. And I'm going to say that I had a major epiphany with this deck. I've got this card, which is by the side of me because it was so important to me. And earlier on in the month of April, I had been doing some work with some tarot and some shadow work with the Darkwood Tarot, la di la di la, blah blah blah. And I can't think how it came up, but my inner garden came up, and that really like struck a note with me. I was like, wait, what? Inner garden? Do I have an inner garden? How have I been nourishing and watering my inner garden? I don't think I have. I think I've been totally not ignoring it, but you know, it hasn't even been in my peripheral vision almost. You know, I haven't even recognised that I have an inner garden, and that I started really thinking about that concept, and that concept of, you know, possibly needing to, or it being maybe the perfect time to, you know, theoretically, you know, clear out the dead brambles and not the weeds, but the dead brambles, and you know, the old in my inner garden, to prepare to plant new seeds, which is the perfect season, is it not? So I journaled on that quite a lot, in conjunction. This kind of also came about through Jessie's prompts. It kind of appeared again, and I was like, oh, wait, inner garden, I've already had that this month. What is this? What's going on here? So yeah, as mentioned, I journaled on it, and that's kind of a concept I've picked up and I'm running with for May actually, and that's why this deck is staying out. Obviously the flowers really resonates for me, and I'm going to say that the Darkwood Tarot no doubt is going to come out in May, spoiler alert. And I don't feel I'm ready to put this one away either. I had such a beautiful journey with this one. It's just like, it was like a loving, not friend, companion. It was a loving companion, you know, holding my hand on my journey into the woods when I was using Jessie's prompts. I feel like I'm babbling, and I don't think I'm making much sense. Yeah, let's take a look at the oracle cards, or the oracle decks that I use in conjunction with these, and let's see if I can speak a little bit more and make it a little bit more clear of how what I came upon whilst using these decks. So again, I'm going to direct you back to that video, the decks I'm using right at the moment in my practice. That video is linked below. Let's just see if I can move the ring light so you don't get that glare there. No. Yeah, so these are the 4 oracle decks that I used. I'm going to let you know which decks they are. Earth and Bone Oracle, mass market. Into the Lonely Woods, mass market. Lupatin Oracle, mass market. And Woodland Wardens, also mass market. I'm sure you'll recognise all of these. I use these in no specific combination with the tarot decks. I just used them as and when I felt, and I pulled it all very intuitively. I just went with whatever my intuition told me to pull at that time for that prompt. That's what I did. This deck always sits on my self-love altar, which I know sounds very bizarre. This is my shadow work deck. This tends to pair really well with the Darkwood Tarot. I use that a lot for the Darkwood Tarot and shadow work that I do. Oh goodness me, I'm totally babbling. as well as the Lopatin that also sits on my self-love altar all the time. This was a deck that I planned to use in April, but I didn't really understand how it was going to like slot into my practice this month. Yeah. So again, these two will definitely come out, you know, they come out very regularly. These two not so much, but I feel I need to keep them out still. I don't think the work with them is done. And that also might be because we're in Taurus season, and obviously Taurus season is a very, you know, we're in that earthy season. Maybe that's why I feel drawn to these decks. I don't know. I can't say, but I don't feel my work is done with them. Yeah. So yeah, that was those. Let's move along to another tarot deck that I worked with. And let's speak about the decks that I had planned to work with and I ended up not working with, which is also very bizarre. Now I had planned to, what's the word? Focus completely on fairy tales in the month of April. That was my plan. I had decided to use the tarot, the Land of Stories tarot and the Tarot of the Divine. They didn't even get a look in. They, you know, were sitting on my cart and they just did not appeal to me. And so for the work that I did with the fairy tales, I actually used the Darkwood Tarot and even the Horror Tarot. I know, right? What is that all about? And I can't say, but what I can say to you is that this one also sits on my self-love altar. I know it's all very bizarre. It's all very, very bizarre. But it makes sense to me. I don't know why, but it just does. And I tend to use this one. I tend to use these two paired together. Obviously, it's the same artist, which is I can't think of the artist's name. I want to say Larson. No. Abigail Larson. I'll put the name on the screen if I say it incorrectly. Anyway, so the point is that my fairy tale theme, I was unsure if it was going to lean towards the bad wolf, red bonnet character in the deck, in the stories, sorry, and it did. That's what it ended up being. The month of April really focused in on the big bad wolf narrative and changing the narrative of the red bonnet as well. And I was kind of looking at the red bonnet as like, and the wolf as two sides of my own self. Like I see this big bad wolf as my shadow self, and I see the red bonnet as the side that's in the light. Does that make sense? You know, you've got your shadow self and you say your light self. Not that I kind of tap into that kind of energy, but I was trying to swap the narrative of that and see a different side of my shadow self and not see it as something to fear and be nervous of allowing to come forward. So I was really working with integrating those two parts of self, and I kind of did a lot of work with this card, especially, definitely this card, and I did a lot of work with the wolf, my inner wolf, being the side that comes forward when this side of myself, the red bonnet, has, you know, been a bit cocky and got myself into trouble. And when I can't get myself out of that trouble, I can't deal with the trouble, that's when this side comes forward and helps me and gets me out of that situation. However, I've still seen this side as the negative because it does what this side doesn't want to do or can't do. Does that make sense? It totally makes sense in my brain. And so I felt my shadow side, this all sounds very woo-woo, but I felt my shadow side was, I almost needed to like apologise and ask for forgiveness, because my shadow side has done what my light side couldn't do, when my light side was the side that got us into trouble in the first place. Does that make sense? So I worked on in April I worked with a lot of like, I actually wrote like a confession or like a forgiveness scroll, and like I almost like a letter to myself, admitting my part in the situations in life that have gotten us into trouble, and when my shadow self has had to come forward to sort it out and make it right again. And that was also really like healing, actually, and really freeing. It was like I felt my shadow side felt misrepresented. Yeah, does that make sense? It feels very strange to speak about myself in almost like the third person, but that's how it feels. And I feel like I'm trying to integrate all those parts of self, but I feel I need to focus on them individually to find out where the wounds lie and where the healing needs to happen. Does that make sense? I don't know. I totally could be babbling, and you could be sitting on the other end of the on the other side of the screen thinking, "What? What's going on?" But that's just the way the cookie crumbles. So this month, my fairy tale theme led very heavily towards this narrative and like flipping the narrative. So I think I will end up doing another fairy tale theme later on in the year that just, it's just a bit, hopefully a little bit lighter, and just for fun, just focuses on the fairy tales. Yeah, just as a fun, light, gentle theme. This was a very shadowy month. There's a lot of shadow work coming up. I'm going to say that it is quite intense and heavy, but I don't feel like back in October I did a lot of shadow work, and in November I was like, oh my goodness me, I need some downtime, I need some different decks, I need some decks that kind of nurture me and, what's the word? Like I need a bit of a release from the heavy work. I don't feel like that now. I feel like I'm making real leaps and bounds, and really get into the nitty gritty of what needs to be healed between these two parts of self. That's what I'm going to say. I did lean very heavily, as mentioned, towards that wolf narrative, and I did have a lot of books that I wanted to read last month. Did I get through all of them? Yes or no? Make your vote now. No, I didn't, unfortunately. However, I did dip into this one, Fierce Fairy Tales and Other Stories to Stir Your Soul. I dipped into the, obviously, the Big Bad Wolf story in that one. I also dipped into this one, Villainous, an anthology of fairy tale retellings. This was, I also dipped into the Red Riding Hood story in this. That was really interesting, actually. It was like the wolf was like, obviously, misrepresented and and misunderstood. And it was enjoyable, but it wasn't, it was more like a modern retelling, I'm going to say. Yeah, definitely a modern retelling of Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf. And I'm going to stop saying Big Bad Wolf because they're not big and bad, they're just a wolf. This one came in mid-month. Fairy Tales Can Change Your Life. Unlock Your Future with Creative Exercise Inspired by Storytelling. I started to read this one. I think you can see the tabs. I'm still working with this one. And spoiler alert, I'm still going to be working with the fairy tale theme. This specific work with the wolf and the red bonnet in May. So these books are still going to be coming out. And this one I got 2 days ago, Heroine's Journey, Woman's Quest for Wholeness. I'm going to let you read this, or maybe like this. So pause and read if you'd like to. So yeah, I thought that sounded like really interesting, and I felt it went hand in hand with the work I'm doing, this Heroine's Journey. Speaking of Heroine's Journey, well, it was the Hero's Journey. This was my doobie wild deck for April. Did I get to it? I didn't get to it. I'm going to say that Jessie Chom's prompts, they took a good amount of time, and I think I journaled 14 and a half pages, something like that. And I had a lot of messages to sit with and think about. So whilst doing Dawn Michelle's Fellowship of the Weavers practice as well, I didn't get to this deck, unfortunately. But it totally feels like, and I think I mentioned this in my April's Decks Intentions, it totally feels relevant. The hero's journey, the heroine's journey. I mean, it's like I'm following the dots, aren't I? I'm following the dots, I'm following the path. So this deck is also in my tarot cart for May. What am I going to talk about in my May Decks and Intentions video? I'm telling you all the secrets now. Yeah. Other decks I didn't use. Didn't use this one. Had planned to use it. I just didn't get a chance from the other work that I was doing. And I don't regret that, because the work I did was very, very nourishing, and yeah, it was much needed. But my plan is to pair these two. I think I paired these in a video, can't remember which one. Maybe my Low by Year update, and I really want to work with these two. So they're still sitting in my cart. I've got so many decks in my cart, what am I going to do? Okay, should we move on to thrifted finds, perhaps? I think we should. Let's do that. Okay, so thrifted finds. This was my first thrifted find. I've had my eye on this for quite a while. I've been making the rookie amateur mistake of going in on my favourite online charity shop. I shouldn't do that. I'm so naughty, I shouldn't do that. Anyway, I've been watching this box on there for quite a while, and every so often they like do a bit of a sale on this online shop, and they did the sale of it, and I was like, I'm gonna get it. I'm totally gonna get it. Now, obviously, it is second hand, so it has been used. But look at this. I don't know if I can. I'm gonna just get this in. I know it's grubby. I haven't done anything with it. I got it in yesterday, so I haven't cleaned it. I haven't cleansed it. I haven't done anything with it. But it's got it's got two tiers, and then obviously it's got the bottom tier, and everything folds in and closes up like this, and it's got like a little key. And I just thought it was so fantastic. So I'm kind of contemplating having this. I know it sounds bizarre, by my bed. Now, why do I not have a, you know, what's the word, a little bedside table? Well, that's a great question. I can't have those kind of things because of my kitty cat. You've heard how he is during my videos. He's pretty much like that in the night, up on my bedstand, knocking things off. So I can't have anything beside my bed that my cat can get to wake me up during the evening, during the night. But I can have something like this. So my plan is to have, you know, my things like my crystals and my tarot deck that I use, which is the Rainbow Moon Tarot, in here. So I can close it up when I'm not using it beside my bed, and, you know, he can't get to it. Or I'm even thinking about using it as an outside usher for when I go into the woods. But I'm not sure. This feels very, if anyone sees me with this, they're going to wonder what I'm doing in the woods with this kind of box. But I don't know. But I think my plan was to purchase it for my bedroom. So that was my first find. My second find was this beauty, which I actually thought was bigger. And my plan was to use this for like spell work, to have it on my desk, because I thought it was like this size. Unfortunately, they wrote the incorrect measurements on the what's it called, on the website, but it's fine. I'm thinking of using it for like a little crystal plate. I still really like it. I think it's really pretty, and I've wanted like a glass tray for a long time, and I thought this was the one. And it is, you know, I love it, but I just want it to be a little bit bigger, and I haven't cleaned it yet, so it needs to be cleaned. So that was that one. That came in yesterday as well with the box. Also, what came in yesterday, this beauty. This was from the same charity shop. Now, I think the person that does that takes care of the website or the charity shop generally, obviously they don't know their stones, and maybe it's difficult for them to clarify or confirm that stones are a certain stone. This was advertised as a decoration stone, and I've purchased rose quartz from the same charity shop previously. I don't know if you've seen my big bag of I had a big bag of rose quartz which was like this, and I expected this dinky little bag to come in. It cost £4, and this massive bag came in with like really big chunks of bigger chunks of rose quartz. But that was also advertised as decoration stone, and when I saw it I was like, no, I'm sure that's rose quartz. And when I saw this one I was like, I'm totally sure that's rose quartz. And it was I think it was £9.75, something like that. And I was like, I don't know if I should risk it for £9.75. And I thought, oh, I'm just going to do it. And it fits in my hand beautifully. And just where my thumb is here, I don't know if you can see, there's like an indentation there. So it like sits, it's like someone sat there rubbing it, which I obviously haven't, but it just sits perfectly in my hand like this. I love and I bought it to go by my bed in my super duper box, so my kitty cat can't knock it off. But I'm quite liking it in my witchy space now. But I do have a lot of I keep showing this, but I've got, like, you know, these also around all over the place here in my witchy space. So I don't know, but I love it. I really love it, and I especially love that little indentation for my thumb. It feels like it was made for me. It was made for me. So I also got a slightly smaller piece as well, which was from the same online second-hand charity shop. And again, I just winged it and hoped it was rose quartz. And I've compared it with my other raw pieces of rose quartz, and you know, I believe it's the same. So, you know, I can't be 100% sure, but I'm probably like 97.5% sure that it's rose quartz. I really like it. This one's a bit more knobbly, not knobbly, but it's got a little bit of sharper edges, but I do really still like it. So yes, there we go. That's that one. What else can I show you? What was my last? Oh yes. Oh wait. Hold the phone. So yes, this was my final second-hand find. It was on the same charity shop, online shop. I need to stop looking on that shop. I really do. Yeah, I saw these. They're made out of stone. Some of them have got double symbols on the front and the back. I don't know if they're like handmade. I don't know, and I don't know what the stone is either. It reminds me of like that. This one wasn't in shot, was it? I was holding it below the camera. It reminds me of. I'm not going to try and come up on the name. I'm going to see if I can find the name and put it on the screen for you. No, I can't think. But I'm wondering if, did I say I don't know if these are handmade or not? I don't know. But I saw them on the advert, and they came in quite a large brown bag. And there was also a rose quartz symbol here as well. That was a bit bizarre, but you know, hey ho. Anywho, what was my point? What was I talking about? I've lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, I saw them online, and they looked obviously a lot smaller. And I do have these kind of runes in white agate, and I also have wood runes. Now my wood runes I use for spell work, so there are several runes that are missing from that bag because I have them in different spell work that I'm using, I'm working with, or that I have on the go. But I do use my white agate runes. But I did want flat runes so that I could cast them. But of course I didn't realise that the runes were this big. I was kind of assuming they were all like this size or smaller. And when they came yesterday, because I got this in a package all together yesterday, all these bits and pieces, I was like, oh, well, these are quite big. I can't really be throwing these about because they're going to be clattering and making lots of noise. So I'm thinking of, I don't know if you can see here, I've got a piece of leather underneath here, which I purchased from a charity shop. It's got to be like back in 2013, 2014. And my plan was to make cushions with them. And I do have some odd pieces of leather still left over. So I'm thinking of making some kind of mat for the runes to cast on. Not sure. Still working with that idea and thinking about that. But I'm really impressed with these. I'm really, really impressed. I just wish I knew what kind of stone they were. So yeah, but I like them. I love them. So yes, those are my thrifted finds. Anything else I need to tell you? Not really. I've been watching a bit of TV this month. I've been watching quite a bit of Netflix, and what really stuck out to me this month was the TV series From, I believe it's called. It's about a small town where there's like this strange force that keeps these people trapped in the town. It was very good. If I find a picture, I'll pop it on the screen for you now. Definitely recommend that one. Yeah, apart from that, I've been watching like some quite cosy films that I enjoy watching. For instance, Haunted Honeymoon and even Clue. Those are kind of been a repeat because they can be on in the background while I'm doing other things. So yes, that was that. I've had a bit of a move around my witchy space. I'm going to pop a video in here for you now. This was last night. So this was me at 11:30 last night. I got the great idea into my mind to, change my witchy room around. Why not? There's my kitty cat. she's sitting there thinking, Human, what are you doing and why are you doing it so late in the evening when we should be going to bed? So I just pulled all the stuff out and yeah, it was kind of, everything was everywhere. Holy moly. So goodness me, it was such a mess last night. I'm kind of liking how the witchy room looks now. I'm going to pop a few pictures in here now for you, and I'm going to pop a picture in my overflow table, which is right beside me, which is really handy for all the bits that don't fit on my desk. Which, you know, maybe I should stop buying second-hand thrifted items. No, that's never going to happen. I'm still going to be buying my thrifted finds because I love them so much. But I do have a lot of things, so maybe I should, rethink the online charity shop that I keep looking at and purchasing things from. No promises. One more deck I forgot to show you. That's the Wanderer's Tarot. I think you've seen this deck before. These are the backs. They're edged in silver. Mass market deck. This is a deck that I've been using this month and last month, and I intend to use, you know, going forward. This was a deck, I love this deck so much, and I know I say that about a lot of decks that I purchased, but I just do, I love it. And what I love about it is that, you know, when it arrived, it kind of, you know, got its elbows out and, you know, edged its way, nudged its way into being the deck that helps me when I have my squirrel brain and my scattered energy. It helps me focus my energy to what will be beneficial for me in my practice right at that moment. And I love it for that. It doesn't particularly meet my usual criteria of being, you know, colourful. I don't tend to usually go for pip decks, but here we are, and it just works so well. So there we have it. So that was the last deck that I used in April, if memory serves correctly. So yes, I'm not going to keep you any longer. I'm going to thank you for watching and hanging out with me. Have a lovely morning, afternoon or evening wherever you are. Take care, and I really hope to see you in the next video. Toodaloo.